Today's subject is 15 big mistakes interviewers make. This will apply to media interviews, live event interviews, and job interviews. Number one, being unclear or misleading about the purpose of the interview. Some interviewers don't explain the purpose of the interview, or worse, they set the guest up to expect an easygoing interview and then attack the guest. This can make you look mean, it hurts relationships, and it can hurt your reputation. Number two, failing to establish rapport. A skilled interviewer begins with a little small talk and then transitions into more serious topics. This applies even to aggressive interviews in which you expect to be at odds with the interviewee. A good interview begins shallow and goes deep. Three, asking long, complicated questions that neither the guest nor the audience can remember. Here's an example. As a leader in the tech industry, what do you think about the current debates surrounding the ethical implications of artificial intelligence, especially when we consider the potential benefits for industries such as healthcare and transportation? Four, talking too much. Interviewers often make long statements. They want to express themselves and they indulge in that desire. A good interviewer shows restraint and focuses on facilitating. Five, not preparing well enough. Before you interview a job candidate, you need to determine what questions are important to ask. Before you interview a business leader, make sure you know their main accomplishments. Before you interview a celebrity, make sure you know what they've been doing lately. Six, creating an uncomfortable environment. An aggressive interviewer can put the interviewee on the defensive. This causes the interviewee to feel threatened and share less. Even a police interrogator is sometimes easygoing and non confrontational. This makes people comfortable talking and sharing. Seven, showing bias. Bias reduces credibility. As soon as the audience senses that the interviewer is biased, the audience sees the interview as being steered in a particular direction. The audience wants an open exchange of ideas, taking a natural course. Eight, not listening to responses. When the interviewer asks a question about something that was already addressed, they seem sloppy and disengaged. Nine, overlooking nonverbal cues. By reading body language and tone of voice, the interviewer notices how the questions are affecting the interviewee, and the interviewer can adjust their style to bring out the best that the interviewee has to offer. 10. Interrupting unnecessarily. Interruptions should be reserved for those times when the interviewee is wasting time by veering far off course. Unnecessary interruptions can make the interviewer appear impatient, rude, or controlling. 11. Failing to adapt. A journalist might be interviewing a famous musician about their new album. The musician unexpectedly opens up about a deeply personal struggle that influenced their songwriting. Instead of exploring that revelation, the interviewer ignores it and moves on to the next prepared question. That would be a big mistake. A sharp interviewer will go off the script and explore the revelation. 12. Asking participants to raise their hand. Sometimes there are several people participating on a panel or in a debate. The moderator says to the participants, raise your hand if you agree with such and such. This can be perceived as condescending. It precludes a thoughtful response. It forces binary responses on multifaceted issues. Most important, it allows for misrepresentation later. A participant may have raised their hand with strong exceptions in mind, but the raise of the hand is translated to they support X. 13. Asking leading questions. Sometimes the interviewer steers the interviewee toward a specific response. For example, a journalist may ask a politician, do you agree with the public that it's time to do the right thing and to do away with your policy of such and such? Sports reporters often ask questions such as, your quarterback put on quite a show today. How proud are you to be coaching such a gifted athlete? 14. Failing to clarify an ambiguous answer. The interviewer asks a job candidate, what are your strengths? And the candidate responds, I'm really good at handling things when they come up. This calls for clarification. 15. This is the last mistake we'll discuss, relying too much on notes. If the interviewer continually looks at notes, it distracts the interviewee and the audience. It makes the interviewer appear unskilled, and it makes it clear that the interviewer isn't having a natural, spontaneous conversation. That's it. Let me know your thoughts on mistakes interviewers make. I'm Robert Owen, and I wish you success.